In this video, I'm going to be discussing Webflow and how within a few hours it can give anybody front-end skills. This means you can build a custom-made website without years of education or knowledge. As a designer, I've worked with all kinds of developers. Some have been good, some have been not as good. Let me define what I mean by front-end developer. The front-end developer would be the person that I would provide my mockups and designs to, and they would actually turn all those designs into a real experience, basically coding everything out. So let's say I've designed a website that has, for instance, a logo at the top, a navigation on the top, kind of more to the right, and that navigation would have some typography and specific type of font that I would use and specific type of colors. This design would then get passed on to the developer, also at times called the dev, and now he would code these various elements out, and depending on how well I communicated with him and how well he follows directions, he might miss some things. Certain alignments might be off, certain typography might be off, the color might be off, so these are the different miscommunications that can happen throughout that time. This is why I've always wanted to kind of skip this step and really just kind of take care of the design myself, and that way there would be no miscommunication and all the designs would kind of look the way I intended in the first place. But there's a problem. I'm not a front-end developer. And even worse, although I love design so deeply and passionately, like so many other designers, I'm not so much into coding and front-end development work. What if there was a tool out there in the world that I can just lay out my website myself and include all my typography, color scheme, all the images, and set specific rules like how things should align depending on if it's mobile, tablet, or desktop, and other various things. This is where Webflow comes in. This tool allows me to lay out websites the way I intended, and custom websites. I repeat, custom websites, meaning not like a template website that I just take a bunch of random stuff and just kind of replace things and update things a little bit, but completely custom, exactly the way I laid it out in my design program. If I want to design a full screen navigation fixed to the left side, I can choose to do that. If I want to design a fading background image that fades in when the user scrolls into it and then fades out when the user scrolls out of it, I can easily do that. I can easily give thousands of other examples, but really the main takeaway here should be, if I could imagine it, or if you can imagine this design, then surely you could make it, and without needing a front-end developer to help you. You might ask me a question like, hey Gary, hasn't there been tools out there in the past that can accomplish a similar thing? And my answer to you would be no, there hasn't. There literally has never been a tool this good that can accomplish projects this well. There's a tool out there called Dreamweaver by Adobe, but really this tool and the code that it generates just isn't very good. It generates not such a good code. WordPress is another tool that you might be aware of, but for you to be able to accomplish completely custom websites, you really have to know PHP and MySQL databases and other complicated information. Also, there used to be another tool called Adobe Muse, and this tool actually died. Adobe killed it off a few years ago. And also this tool did not generate very clean code, and the content that you would generate there wouldn't be very dynamic. It was pretty static information, right? Like you're going to design a box, and the box is not always going to live in the exact place depending on the width of your screens. The things are going to move around, so things really need to be adjusted to work in a dynamic environment. And yes, there are other platforms out there like Wix or Squarespace, and these are pretty good to start off. If you just need to throw a quick website really fast and just like modify a couple of things and you can have it. There's not really a learning curve with those platforms, but the problem with those is that you're not really making a custom website. It's already a lot of existing templates, which might work for you, but really it's just a bunch of existing templates that you're modifying very fast, and for the most part your website will look like a lot of other websites. This is why Webflow is so amazing. I can literally wear the pants of a front-end developer and not my normal 36-34 skinny jeans. One of the ways that I've loved using Webflow in my career is when I finish, for example, doing a design like a mock-up in like a tool like Figma or Sketch. Instead of just giving the developer the ready static files, I would actually throw those files and remake them myself in front-end using Webflow, and now I can just pass that kind of already developed website to the developer, and if he has to plug that information into a database or do something else complicated, all the front end would be done, and there's no communication, right? Because the development part is already done. So this is one of the ways that I've really enjoyed using Webflow. With Webflow, there is somewhat of a learning curve. It's not something you just jump into and start throwing designs and things just start looking amazing. But after you understand how to use it, you will truly understand the power of it. I would say a good time to dedicate to learning Webflow would be an hour or two, and after that you'll be good to go to make amazing websites. Webflow themselves have a place called Webflow University, and there you can learn a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of tutorials on there, and they're very fast and clear. Some other good places to learn Webflow would be Skillshare, lynda.com, a YouTube channel called Flux, and really just going on YouTube and just searching for what you're looking for as far as learning Webflow. You can literally search on YouTube how to make an air conditioner out of a cardboard box and actually find some results. Webflow also has a community forum. If you ever get stuck on something, that would definitely help you out. I had a situation once where I was trying to create certain screens, and I wanted these screens to kind of adjust based on percentage depending on the length of the monitor space that the user is looking at the designs, and I had a hard time figuring that out, and I left a message on their community forum, and the very next day somebody got back to me and I had a result, and I was able to pretty much solve that issue. Please take some time and really check this product out. I promise you it will bring your design skill to the very next level. If you've used Webflow in the past or have used similar tools to Webflow, please leave me a comment below and we can have a conversation about it. I'd love to hear from you. Or if you have any further questions, feel free to ask away. I'll share all the links to all the products that I've mentioned in this video in the description below. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so, as I'll be posting more interesting videos like this regarding design. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.